Hey everyone, in this video here, we're going to be talking about 4 ways on how to boldly sell your services. Because let's be real and just pause for a second before we get into the 4 steps. Sales can sometimes be a little intimidating, right? Oftentimes when we think of sales, it might be like, oh, I'm going to be judged. It can be vulnerable, if you will, because you're putting yourself out there to be told no, to be quote unquote rejected. But in this video, we're going to break down 4 simple ways to help you boldly sell your products or your services. And make sure you stay to the end, because the 4th one, I really break down a framework that's going to change exactly how you see the world. You'll actually see it through a brand new lens. So the first way is ethically bet on yourself. You have skills. You've acquired them over your lifetime. Almost thinking about the movie Taken. I have a particular set of skills, ones that I've developed over a lifetime. But essentially bet on yourself, because you know that you can show up, right? Sometimes we might have been in situations where we depended on others and they didn't follow through, but you can bet on yourself that you are going to follow through, and believe in your deliverability. Sometimes you might be doing something new that's a little bit outside your scope because you have an idea. You're wanting to enter a market. You're writing a book. You're doing a new business vertical you maybe have never done before. But let's pull this back a little bit. Every job you've ever done, there was a time in your life you had never done it before. Yet somehow, here you are today, knowing the things you know, doing the things you do. What it was you bet on yourself to show up for that, and someone took a chance on you. So to ethically sell your products, take a bet on yourself, right? Ethically bet on yourself to show up. For example here, whenever I first got on to the whole concept of selling online, I'd already built kind of like a very, it was my first website ever for a business I worked with as a general manager. But whenever I started to go, I could actually do this as a service, I researched a new way to build websites. This is probably a decade ago. And I hadn't actually built anything on that said platform at the time. But I researched enough, seen enough YouTube videos. I mean, everything we want is on YouTube, essentially. Access to the entire world, if you're trying to figure something out, is on your phone. And I took a bet on myself and I sold my first website without actually ever building something on the platform. Now, oftentimes what we do when we're entering a market is sometimes our pricing can be aggressive because our learning curve is higher, right? It's almost opposite, because what happens is the better you get at things, the more you can charge, but it essentially means the faster you do it. So in the beginning, I actually sold my very first website without building on the platform before. And I explained to them, I've built websites before, I haven't built on that. Here's what I can do in the service, and just ethically be open and upfront. People can tell when you're genuine about what it is that you do. So with that is, for the first step, comment show up if you think that you can make a bet on yourself and that you can show up. Let me down in the comments by comment show up if you could bet on yourself to show up to deliver whatever product or service it is that you do. Now, the second way for you to sell boldly is to actually, and this might sound a little funny when I say it at first, sell before you've made it, right? Before you've created it. This kind of follows into betting on yourself, like you know where you're trying to go, but maybe you haven't built it yet or created the thing, but you can test the market viability. It's going to save you a ton of time. It might make you feel nervous at first, like, well, what if I haven't got it yet and someone buys? You tell them that they're a beta user, they're an early bird, right? This is a pre-sale. You're giving yourself permission to have a window and giving them a benefit by investing, quote unquote, in your service or solution early on. And the reason why I say sell before you make is you can spend a lot of time creating something that the market doesn't deem worthy to purchase. Don't take that personally when I said that, but sometimes you put a lot of energy and effort into things. I know that I have. I've spent months building out course, audio, written material, only to find out that the market wasn't quite ready for that. But in all honesty, maybe I wasn't quite at that level yet to serve it in that way. And I could have saved myself a lot of time, energy, and effort if I would have made the sales page first and started talking about what I was doing. Because here's where it doubles into your social media content. This is kind of a bonus tip here, is you can document that you're creating it and people follow along and see engage interest. So essentially you sell before you make, because then the market tells you if it's viable. Is it a need that they want? Are people willing to, quote unquote, make a purchase from you for this thing? And again, to release the tension of like, well, I don't have it ready yet. Early bird, beta group, pre-sale, early access. I mean, think of Kickstarter, for example. How many things are people buying or investing in to kickstart ideas that aren't in fruition, but part of their tiers are like, you'll get a copy of it, or you'll get that, you'll be one of the first ones. So that way you save yourself a lot of time, energy, and effort of making it, hoping that it sells on the back end, versus betting on yourself in the first one, and then secondly, sell before you make it. Start talking about, this is what I'm doing, and giving people a way to get access to it. And it could be as a simple little landing page online, or even just in social media comments where you're sending PayPal links or things. There's there's unlimited ways nowadays for people to create a transaction, right? There's many apps for us to exchange funds, so you can essentially start dripping the idea out there and then offering to people without having the full-blown service or solution fully built out. It's going to save you a lot of time, energy, and effort, and actually allows you to pivot if needed. So drop a like on this video if you see how much time this could actually save you, how much time and energy if you could essentially get the market to tell you whether or not they're interested in what you do by selling it before you make it. Now, the third way to sell boldly is give the public a chance to say no. Let's think about this. Give people the chance to say no. I had a good friend of mine who got his bachelor's in marketing, and he said, don't do people the disservice of not allowing them to tell you no. Like, wow, that's a different way of looking at that. But in order for them to tell you no, they have to know, right? In order for them to say no, N-O, they have to K-N-O-W. They need to know about it. So you have to start talking about it. In person is great. I know a lot of times we see how to sell online, but there's a ton of business done in person. Look around your local chapter of a Chamber of Commerce or local events in the community. You start getting connected and start putting your feelers out there, because here's what's the thing. You can get candid feedback and you can kind of see their body language, right? And so what I want you to realize though, when a person does say no, it's not to you. This again is removing that barrier of sales, where sometimes sales can be intimidating, right? But no is not to you, it's to the offer. They're not interested in those things. It's nothing personal, it's just professional. A fun way I like to look at it is in baseball. If you follow sports at all, batters that bat 3.0, like a 3.0 batting average is huge. You make millions of dollars if you can bat 3.0. But if we break down what that number really means, they strike out 7 out of 10 times. They only hit 3 times, 3.0. So that means they go to the plate, strike out 7 out of 10 times, and still make millions. Think of that framework for your business. It's okay if you hear no more than yes. You're actually expected to. It's like shuffling a deck and you're going through it. It's not like people are cards, you're not shuffling them. But it's okay for them to say no, because not everything is for everyone. And you're allowing yourself to go through that and realize it's not personal. It's not no to you to the individual. It's no to what the offer solution is, because maybe it's not right now is the time. There's been plenty of examples where no isn't no forever. It's just not today. So thinking about with baseball and batting a 3.0 average, comment down baller if you can now play the game of business knowing that it's not no to you, it's no to the offer. Leave a comment down below and let me know. Now, the fourth way to boldly sell your products or service is think of it less as sales and more of problem solving, because everything in the world is actually solving problems. It's not that we're quote unquote selling. Selling can sometimes have that intimidating feel, but everything around us is sales because problems are being solved. Some problems are big, some problems are small. But let's think about when you buy a car, your problem might be your quote unquote transportation. But then what else do you need when you get a car, for example? You've got to buy gas to make it work. You need insurance to protect it. You want to make it look cool. Perhaps you get some tint. You want to sound cool, so you get an awesome sound system. You're solving these problems of needs that you have. Usually people are either moving towards pleasure or away from pain. Think which vertical your business fits in, and that's how you talk to that. But everything, or even our quote unquote, say our phones, for example. We buy a phone, you're like, okay, great, but I'm also going to have to get a screen cover. I'm going to get a case cover. I want to get it charged in my car, so I need a car charger. If I don't have a data plan, it's not going to work really that well unless I'm like in a free Wi-Fi type place. So one solution often creates multiple micro problems behind that. As you get deeper into sales in your business, you oftentimes start with one problem that you're solving, but you'll start to realize you can solve multiple problems that are a ripple effect. Because every time we present a solution, it typically creates additional problems to solve on the back end. And now I mentioned this a little bit earlier, is understanding too, you're not here to serve everyone, right? And that's why you're going to hear no's, you're going to hear yeses, but that's okay, because we're not here to quote unquote sell something. We're here to solve something. So we're delivering solutions to the marketplace, but we've got to let them know what it is that we have to offer. So now as we get towards the end of this video, has the world changed a little bit? Now do you have different lenses for which we look through the world, right? Because it's not about half full, half empty. It's what lens that you look through the world is how the world presents itself. But now that you know these 4 steps, Comment down below. Let me know what was your biggest takeaway from the 4 steps of this video to help you sell more boldly in your business. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Please take a moment to follow, like, and subscribe. By subscribing, you're going to see the future videos I put out. When you drop a like, it lets me know that these are the type of videos for you to make. And by following along, you get to see the journey as we continue to make more content to help leverage you in your business. And if you're a business owner who's looking for ways to create more leverage in the hours you spend each day, take a look at our website at sololink.io. Again, that's sololink.io, where we help business owners create pure leverage through the power of automation and AI by giving them AI powered virtual assistants to do a number of amazing tasks. You can see more about that at sololink.io.